Welcome to Adults Only Comedy Berlin. Today we're with Annika.
That's me.
It's actually Annika.
It's actually me here in the flesh.
It's so good. It's so good to have you on the pod because we did all of the Ersties nonsense shit together.
I am really missing those days, running around the city, harassing strangers.
Like, I miss the money. I also miss the, like, getting pushed out of my comfort zone because it did really make me do shit that
Yeah, I think as two like bona fide extroverts, it's hard to like push us really.
Yeah.
So I needed that extra push.
I was always so impressed with like the episodes where I feel like you just like did the most insane things. Those episodes haven't been published. Like you climbed a tree. No one asked you to do that. No one was like, dude, you were like, I'm going to do that because that way I can get closer to the goal of this dare. And it's like, whoa, like that. Whereas I my thing was more like I needed like a whole backstory to justify anything.
You were always, you were like, okay, who am I? Where am I from? What's my job? I'm like, I don't know if this will help, but you honestly won most of the challenges, so maybe your approach was better.
Did I? I don't know. Did I?
Brains, brawn? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I think I don't think there was that much. There was never a clear winner. I think it was
you were a clear winner. Really? It felt like that to me.
Okay. I think we're both losers in our hearts. That's of course. We're both like, oh, the other one.
No, you did better. No, you did better. It was you.
No, you did better. Yeah, so hope let's see if we can. We were just talking about maybe trying to get the unpublished, the unreleased episodes.
Release the videos.
Yeah. And get that nasty really cute content. We did some cute stuff.
We met a lot of nice people too.
Also,
I feel like sometimes when you're in Berlin, you get a little bit like, oh, I'm too cool. I know everyone, blah, blah, blah. And then it was nice to just like be on the streets. And although I guess we weren't really going up to, we went up to some Berliners, but a lot of people visiting.
Yeah, we did manage to find a lot of, the Berliners were often, we met some friendly, open to engage Berliners, but then, most of the people who wanted to engage were like, oh, this is novel.
Yeah. I'm on vacation. I just graduated high school. I'm in Berlin.
This is so, oh my God, I'm going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry guys. You're not yet on YouTube, at least the unreleased episodes.
Not yet.
But you're also on OnlyFans. I want to plug that immediately.
Yes, I am on OnlyFans. You can find me at its.actually.annika. Showing all my bits.
Dots. Showing off your dots. Showing off.
Yes.
I don't know. OnlyFans does still sound very appealing, but hit me up if you want it.
Comment down below if you think Anna should start an OnlyFans.
There's no place to comment. Actually, there is a place on Podbean, but most people don't listen to the pod on Podbean. They listen to
Podbean viewers. Is that the number?
Podbean viewers, yeah. Well, there's no video. Also, if I wanted to pay for video podcasting, it's like 300. Like it's an extra bunch of money if I wanted to release the pod with video. Yeah, anyway, so I just put it on YouTube randomly, and I'm just
YouTube comments sound off.
Yes, exactly. Or just DM me. DM me. Okay, so we're gonna go into the list. So we're letting this pod be led by pre-prepared ideas.
I love a checklist. I love an agenda.
Right. Now, you mentioned that. Okay, so like TV shows that you've been super into recently. You said White Lotus. It's a little bit like been and gone, but we can still talk White Lotus.
We don't need to, though, really. I was just trying to... I think I realized... I added that in afterwards when I realized we maybe have different television tastes.
Maybe. Although, you're like, this bitch will like White Lotus.
I was like, I don't know, what's some common ground? I don't know. Because the other ones,
Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. Is that? I think I saw like a clip for it on Netflix or something.
I'm obsessed. So the second season just came out.
Okay.
And it follows the cheerleading team of the Dallas Cowboys, not cheerleaders.
The cheerleaders of cheerleaders?
The cheerleaders of cheerleaders. And the first season was amazing. It's like, I kind of thought it was going to be more reality TV, which is usually my jam. Yeah. But it was almost like, it was like a docu-series, basically.
Okay.
Of like, some good old like American Texan history and how they got like the biggest stadium on this side of the Mississippi or whatever. Okay. All of that stuff. And then going into like the politics of the cheerleaders and how they're treated. Spoiler alert, it's not so great. Spoiler alert, they're not getting paid.
What? It's like a heavy, time and physical like investment, no?
Oh no, yeah, so it's crazy because a lot of them have like full-time jobs. They're like, I'm a nurse, I'm a teacher, I'm a this. Then after their work, they're immediately going to practice several times in the weekday and then performing on the weekends or whenever football airs. I have no idea when. What day?
You're talking to me.
Sunday? Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, that sounds about
Maybe?
right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I can't verify this.
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm not a sports girl.
I'm never going to be able to verify
No. So yeah, they're like working double time basically. And then for this like insane job where, yeah, they're like the physical athletic talent is just mind-blowing. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where I think you watch it and you think like, oh, I could kind of do that. But then you see how high their legs go. And then you're like, I could not ever do that, ever.
No. And like, yeah, it's like full-on gymnastics, no?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Are they all like super hot too?
So, yeah, I mean...
Like, it's got to be eye candy as well, right?
It's very interesting because they're never going to, they're going through this whole process of, 3 rounds of tryouts, and they're sending in digital applications. They're coming in person. They're traveling from all over the world. They have people from the US, people from Japan, people from Australia.
Really?
Yes. This is like the thing. And these are people who are like, this is the only thing I've dreamed of since I was like 5 years old. And they're like, yeah, flashbacks of them in like Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders costumes since age 5 or whatever.
Even in Japan.
Yeah, it's crazy. So this is like, creme de la creme.
So they are the best cheerleaders, like the best, most well-known in the world?
People are applying, and then they're going through these, like, insane auditions. And, of course, a lot of it is related to, like, do they fit the team in terms of their, like, dancing or athletic abilities? But then there's also the appearance comments that they can't just say, oh, no, she's ugly or she's fat or whatever. So they have to be like, how do we think her physique fits in on the kick line? Or, like... what do we think about the bangs? And so they really are kind of picking a new generation of sex symbols, but they can never explicitly say that because...
I'm curious, is there a concern for like diversity representation? It is Texas.
They talk about it a little bit. It's definitely... I would say the team is majority white. They're all have long hair, extensions out the wazoo, the tans, the nails, the everything.
Nails in gymnastics?
Everything. They're like Barbie dolls.
It's crazy, but they're athletes. How can you be like nailed up? Like I'm talking
not like crazy nails, but like they have to, that's another thing. Does she take care of herself? That's what they say. Is she taking care of herself? So they are, yes, choosing sex symbols, but also athletes. So.
Oh man, I kind of want to. I'll watch it then. I'll absolutely watch it.
It's super interesting.
Is there some kind of like message or anything that's like super fucked up, or like aside from not getting paid and being expected? I hate that expectation on women in the media. Like we're not going to get the job if we don't look good, but we're not going to get paid more because of the amount that we've spent time and money to look good. It's like it's part of the job. Like I've done these jobs and I'm not saying there's anything horrible, but like for Ersties nonsense or for when I work for Man, Bus and Truck, it's like I got a set amount that I get paid, but then if it was a dude, he doesn't need to do the hair drying, makeup, careful outfit choosing, maybe nails, whatever. Maybe nails aren't such a thing for me, but like all the makeup and hair.
Yeah.
Where, like a dude just gets he puts on his fucking clothes and he goes on set and whatever. Like, oh, you got a bit of food on your face.
Yeah.
Whereas like us women, we have to put in so much time to look like we can keep the job.
You have to perform and you have to perform the part and the look.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like,
I get covered for that.
At least for me with porn, some of these expenses are tax deductible, not all. So I don't think.
Interesting. I didn't think about deducting tax.
Yeah, because if it's specific for a shoot, if you can prove like within the next couple days, you have. But for like you get a haircut, you need a haircut for just normal life because you have to have nice hair.
Yeah,
it doesn't really count for.
But that's so annoying because for the Ersties shoots, it got to a point where I would make sure I'd get a haircut before any pack of like shoots, because like pack of shoots, like, you know, if we had like 3 days booked or something, I'd make sure I got a haircut, because when I worked for MAN Bus and Truck, the last video I shot, I was just like, oh my god, I needed a fucking haircut. And it's like, I feel like I didn't get any more episodes with them, because firstly I was unavailable, and then if I look at it, I'm like, I look like shit. Like, I looked so bad in that last episode. I'm like, fair enough, man, fair enough. And so always getting a haircut before an Ersties shoot, always like a good, like a full hour to get ready to do, like, to look all right for it, you know.
100%. No, I think the time is just crazy. The time is crazy. And I think about how much like self body maintenance things I'm doing, luckily, and I would say I'm even on the more like natural end of things in terms of like, I'm growing my hair out, so I haven't gotten a cut, but I do my nails. It's so long. Like, I do my nails, I wear a moderate to light amount of makeup, and self tanner sometimes if I'm feeling a little pasty and I need a little boost.
Oh god, I feel so pasty at them at my legs. I'm like, I've got to get them out because I'm so hot, but they're not ready.
Self tanner.
I
can recommend.
Yeah, okay. Do you want to?
I'll send you the link.
Yeah, send me the link.
Link in bio.
No promos on this pod, but no, you can. But yeah. So in terms of the cheerleading thing, like, aside from the bullshit that they're not getting paid for, is there anything else like politically or anything like juicy or fucked up in it?
They do address on the first season, one of the cheerleaders is like assaulted by a camera person, actually, who like grabbed her after a show. And I would say they handled it pretty appropriately. But I think that like kind of led into a conversation of them of like, basically the crazy abuse that they've endured from fans of like stalking, people putting air tags in their, like on their car, like people following them home. They have to have security. Like,
can I be an idiot and ask what an air tag is?
like the little like Apple like tracking device thing.
Oh, like a tracking device.
Yeah. So you put it like on your keys or something normally, but people can.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So like full on stalking.
And I would say they took it very seriously and handled that. And another good thing is I think, I'll have to double check, but their pay was raised after the release of the first season, because everyone was like, this is shady that these guys are getting paid like millions every year, and they're getting paid like a couple $100 per show or something. We were probably getting paid more to do nonsense than these cheerleaders are doing.
Yeah, that's a scandal. That is not
this
okay.
kind of thing. So I think I can recommend the show, really.
It's so interesting for so many people worldwide to have dreamed of becoming that. I'm not sure if you've seen it or if you even know of the existence of the show Dave. I just finished watching Dave.
Dave? No, I have not heard of this.
So Dave, it's Dave Bird, Burd, and I knew of Dave Bird as Little Dicky.
Okay.
From like...
Wait, Little Dicky, like...
The Little Dicky.
Okay, yeah.
Little Dicky.
Yeah.
And I think I was listening to Little Dicky like back in like... I feel like I first heard him ages ago.
Wait. Does he have one song that was like...
My favorite one is White Crime. Like, that was my old favorite. He's released way more than that, and it's all about like, it's hilarious. He does really funny raps, but he's also a cool rapper.
Yeah.
And so the whole show is brilliantly written. It's super funny, and it follows his story, and the way it kind of unfolds, you know, the relationships of the characters in the show is masterful, and it's also really like gross cringe funny. But basically the show charts his career as a rapper.
Okay.
And yeah, the whole thing of like the dream of wanting to be, you know, this
make
huge,
it big.
Yeah, make it big. And I suppose that does connect to the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, I guess, and like wanting to be the best cheerleader.
That is something that I do like respect of anyone, regardless of like what their field. I'm like, when they're like, this is the thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like all eyes on the prize, like kind of stuff. Somehow it feels harder to make it as a rapper than as a cheerleader.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Well, also because, like, to make it as a rapper, you're competing with... it's a different... I don't know.
Every SoundCloud douchebag in the world.
Yeah.
And as a cheerleader, at least, like, it's, like, actually you're being put up against people that have practiced and, like... I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like there are more cheerleaders in the world than great rappers.
There are more cheerleaders than good rappers.
Than like great rappers.
Great rappers.
Yeah, like to be a great rapper, there's
Sure.
probably like, let's say great rappers in the world that we all like household names. Maybe there's like 15, 20.
Yeah, okay.
You know? And
Yeah.
then whereas cheerleaders, there's probably like, I don't know, like 10 for every team. Like.
Yeah, I have no idea how to cheerleading. I mean,
Cheerleader rapper math.
all I know is that I was just on an American military base in Germany.
I've been on 2 of those, weirdly.
That is very weird, actually. Weirder for you.
I did comedy there.
Okay,
so,
okay,
yeah,
less
yeah.
weird. Well, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders were performing on base. So I
No
actually got a little
way.
sneak preview because I was watching this season and we were like, who's going to make it on the team? I don't know. But then I was like, wait, no, I've seen her somewhere on a poster on an American military base in Germany. So she must have made it. So I spoiled it for myself.
That's hilarious. You were
but-
there because of a friend's father.
Yeah, exactly.
What were you doing on the base though? Like
Literally just like buying Cheez-Its and there was like, I don't know, we were just shopping actually, literally.
Just
it was
shopping.
like all the American shit that
yeah,
I'm
right.
missing.
They do that. Yeah, was this in like Wiesbaden or in
This is
Kaiserslautern?
in
South, right?
where the fuck is it? In the south.
Not
What is it called?
Kaiserslautern or
No.
Wiesbaden?
It's
Wiesbaden?
near Weiden.
Okay.
I don't
all
even
right.
know what the name of the base. I'm just like, I'm American and I'm here.
Hey, and I'm gonna get my U.S. trash snacks.
Exactly.
I assume Cheez-Its are trash snacks.
There
Trash
depends on
snacks.
how you define trash, but
Not American.
Let's just say I'm getting tired of the German paprika chips.
Oh, dude, right? Like, how is that a? Yeah, I just don't buy them. I'm a sour cream onion kind of girl. If I'm gonna buy chips or just like salt,
I love the sour cream and onion, but then you're committing to
bad breath.
not only that, the weird finger smell.
Oh yeah.
And like I am that person that's just like
Me too.
throughout the day.
Me
If
too.
there
It's good you
is-
don't have piercings because you'd be doing the same thing.
so gross. so gross.
But yeah.
Okay, but wait, where is this guy? This Dave guy?
So you can stream him on Disney.
I mean, sorry, where? Like, is he? He's American.
He's American.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. I think the show is all based in LA.
Okay.
And
LA rappers.
yeah.
I feel like because I'm from more or less LA,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should know more about the music and cultural scene there, but I've left so long ago. I feel extremely disconnected, and I
Yeah.
think my only perspective on it is through like influencers or kind of like Instagram
Yeah.
people more than like the actual people who are in LA. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I've got my finger on the pulse of. You said you've stopped paying for Spotify, which is interesting. I was talking shit about people who like apparently I saw. Do you follow Dazed?
Yeah.
I do, and then I'm like I hate what they write, but like sometimes I'm like they put us pretty pictures.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And it helps me feel like I'm a little bit up to date with
Yeah.
what the fuck's going on. Like I wouldn't have known about. Like I don't know. Like I see these artists that are like huge, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? And then I listen to like 3 minutes of their music. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't like this. This is why I don't
Yeah.
know them.
Yeah.
But like I wouldn't have known about Sabrina Carpenter if it hadn't been for Dazed and whatever, maybe like whatever other things I fucking follow.
I'm so out of the loop with music. So, yeah, the origin of me no longer paying for Spotify is my ex in Sweden was still paying for my Spotify. We were on like a family plan.
Yes.
And so at some point he just writes me, "You little leech, you've been on my Spotify this whole time." I have not lived in Sweden for 3 years.
Well done.
And
That's 3 years free Spotify.
I know, right? And you know what? It's like a ex-boyfriend tax. Like,
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
love him, but emotional damages or whatever you want to call it, Pay it back, pay it
Yeah.
forward. That's feminism or something, right?
Yes.
Give a girl some music.
Yes.
So I got kicked off of his, and then I was like, oh shit, this is expensive. So I'm just not
like
gonna.
11 a month, right? It's like €10 a month.
As someone who, okay, when you say it like that, I did just spend like 11 on a coffee this morning. More like,
€11
Oh, okay,
on a
coffee. No, coffee
and a bite.
and a sandwich.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's
But
all
I'd
right.
rather have a coffee and a sandwich than basically I don't listen to music that much because I think I'm too emotionally susceptible to music.
Interesting.
So I feel like I'm very like whatever I'm listening to, that's the vibe. And I'm not good at discovering music, so I kind of just have my go-tos.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I feel really weird. What's going on? Oh, there's music playing. Like it.
Interesting. You're like a over the top like music like oral empath.
Something. Yeah. That sounds. Oh God, that sounds horrible. I should put that on like my Tinder. I'm a oral empath. That's disgusting.
I'll feel whatever you make me hear.
Yeah. But like. So yeah, then I kind of just stopped at that.
I think it is. I think music is very like emotionally provocative, and I have to be careful. Like sometimes if I'm like, yeah, I want to listen to this song, and then I'm like, I can feel myself, maybe all of a sudden experiencing rage or something, and it's like, okay, I need to stop listening to Rage Against the Machine before I, go and see a friend who's just gone through a breakup. Or maybe that's the right vibe actually.
Honestly, that could be the right energy.
Fuck them. But I do have to be quite conscious of the music that I listen to does, and I discover a lot of music. I listen to a lot of music, but I've this year, instead of not paying for something, I pay for Spotify, and I've started paying for SoundCloud as well.
Oh wow!
Because that way I can support more sort of upcoming artists, and often when I go to parties, there'll be a DJ. I'm like, fuck, that was amazing, and I want to follow them, and then I can listen to their sets. And if you pay for SoundCloud, you can also download stuff onto your phone. So
you're walking the walk. I'm just talking the talk. I'm like, support artists, pay for your work, pay for their work. Pay for porn. I am not paying for porn. I'm sorry.
You make porn. Do you consume much porn?
I consume a lot of porn.
You do consume
I do, both professionally and personally.
That's so interesting. I do not. Like, I honestly haven't, like, I'll open it up with my partner, like, maybe just for like what are the kids doing these days? And just see what's up. And it's like, okay, and we'll load up like 10 videos and see if we can find anything that's in any way enticing. But I like masturbating. It's like, it's so stimulating to see where the fuck my brain goes and letting my brain go there. And it's like, oh fuck, I just came to that. That's really interesting for me. Yeah.
That's a skill, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like porn poisoned or something. My brain is like it's like devoid of
I'm not sure what that sound was for.
I don't know either, but like I just wanted to make a sound. Like I've squeezed all the like creative porn juice out of my sexual.
I think you've still got porn juice.
I know I still have porn juice.
Yeah.
I still have porn juice. But I think in general I have like sex amnesia or something. Like I have a very hard time. Like some of my partners can really remember our sex in detail. Like, oh, and then you were doing this and you said this, and I'm like, when was it? What? I also think I have like dick blindness. Like I could not point out my partner's penis in a lineup, and we've been together for years. So like,
wow. I have that with exes. Like I struggle to remember exes. Like there are some exes whose penises I remember, and then the others are just like it's just a pixelated memory.
Yeah. Conjure it up, conjure it. No,
it was okay.
Yeah.
But I also used to have in my 20s when I drank, and I do connect it to drinking and weed, because that would often, like, very rarely, really, even like a committed relationship that was long term, I'd seldom have sex completely sober.
Yeah.
Like it'd be the mornings, but surely I was still a little bit drunk or whatever. Yeah. Like, and that's how bad it was. But I also, without being without always crediting, and actually only now I'm starting to credit the alcohol and drugs for my lack of awareness of what was happening during sex. I was conscious, but
it was all good, just a little hazy.
Just not clear. But also back then I would say that if my eyes are closed, I have no memory. Mm-hmm. So if my eyes are closed during sex, if I can't see it, because I'm extremely visual, like I if someone's trying to teach me something in a foreign language just by saying it, I will I will learn it so fast if I write it down. Yeah. And so if I can't see what people, like, I once had a threesome with people when I shouldn't have been, and I actually didn't think I had sex with the guy. And so I told my boyfriend at the time who I was cheating on, I was like, look,
we didn't even have sex.
He didn't even fuck me. Like it was all this other stuff. He didn't even fuck me. And then I met up with the guy from the threesome, and he was like, oh no, we fucked. And I was like, fuck. He was like, yeah, I guess like it was happened at this point. I was like, oh shit. And it was just because my eyes were closed.
Yeah. That's it.
Like I closed my eyes.
Do you think that would hold up in court?
It shouldn't.
Dear judge, listen. Maybe I did this. I have no recollection of it. My eyes were closed. I plead the fifth or the whatever.
Well, I said that to my boyfriend at the time. I was just like, dude, my eyes were closed. Like, I don't have a memory
It
of him
could have been
fucking me.
anything. A finger, a banana.
Exactly. Could have,
Yeah.
a thermostat. No, what is a thermostat? What is it? A thermometer?
A thermometer. Oh, yeah. Just
He was
quick
thin.
temperature check. God.
But yeah, so you have like sex amnesia. Okay.
I have sex amnesia, so I think I also need the visual spark, but I think...
So you're saying, so maybe because of the sex amnesia, then it's harder for you, like, are your fantasies a lot more based on, you think, memories? And so that's why you wouldn't...
I'm like really, really reliant on on porn.
Both. True.
Yeah. I'm really reliant on porn, actually, and I think my general process would be like going onto a mainstream tube site, doing a little browse, seeing what the kids are up to, as you said.
Exactly.
See something that kind of sparks, click that, scroll a bit more, and then take that like act or whatever to its pervious point. We're going to Google. We're Googling
Pervious.
XYZ.
For a second I had to understand what pervious, and it was like, oh, you just mean the most pervy.
The most,
but
yeah, because there's
So
like,
good.
it's like, there's a gangbang, but then there's like a gangbang, and I want the gangbang.
So
like,
you take like basic shit, find the nastiest thing, and then from there you start searching something else.
I search on smaller, weirder websites to get more pervy results, basically.
Interesting.
Because the tube sites are too mainstream and too like nice and boring. I need like really gritty stuff.
Okay, I really want you to paint me a picture of this gangbang that's like super gritty.
Like, okay, well, this actually ties into another show that I've been watching, which is Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Very interesting. Who doesn't love a bit of Mormonism?
I know,
peering
right?
into
It's like
that.
caters to like the American fascination with Mormons of like they're like us but different, and they don't drink alcohol or caffeine.
Yeah.
And they wear weird underwear. But there's like a whole genre of
And polyamory. Well, not polyamory.
Yeah,
polygamy.
exactly, yeah.
Bigamy.
So
Bigamy.
like there's like a whole genre of Mormon porn that I've been getting kind of into. So like instead of like a gross seedy gangbang, it's like these very clean cut looking Mormon guys, and they're wearing their Mormon like underwear garments, and then it's like a breeding gangbang. So
it's for
like
the purpose
it's
of
for
procreation.
God. It's for procreation. They're in this kind of like weird temple environment where it's like all white and bright and stuff. So like that somehow seems like cleaner and nicer in a way,
this
but it's
real?
actually pervier to me of like
Yeah.
this kind of like psychological, like this is forbidden, we can't do this.
Definitely.
But like it's for God, we have to.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I was I was interested in that, but on the sort of oppositional religion, I was looking for like Muslim porn, and I found very little. Like
Yeah.
I really Mia Khalifa kind of stole
Yeah.
the show,
Yeah.
but it's also like I wanted like amateur. And I found a couple, but it was like these people, I don't know, like that. When you're just like, oh, that's not hot. They just, like when it's amateur and like it's super amateur and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, how did this come out? But,
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't find any good, I wanted like the full like hijab, I wanted the whole thing. I wanted like the shame and the nastiness and the like, you're just a disgrace to Allah. I wanted that, and I couldn't find shit. But that's so interesting. This Mormon stuff, like that. When I say like, is it real? Is it like, are these real Mormons or are they just pretending to be Mormons?
I think the best case scenario would be ex-Mormons, because there's also been a big uprise of like influencers who are a part of the like ex-Mormon community who are really like happy to like, I mean, some of it gets more heavy and like the trauma that was inflicted upon them and all this stuff, but other times it's more like, this is the weird shit that's going on behind the scenes, and that's fun. So maybe like ex-Mormons would do it the best because they have like some insight into the world.
Yeah. Or they have like a Mormon like intimacy advisor.
But this was actually the start of this show was because there was a Mormon swinging scandal on TikTok.
Oh.
Yes, there was this group of influencers called Mom Talk. And they're all like Mormons, but like we're not like other Mormons. We're cool hip Mormons. Like, like that. I don't know. They're not like, they dress cute. They're very like Shein Mormons,
Shein.
like the fast fashion, like kind of like
Shein,
like
Shein
Zara Mormons.
Temu.
Yeah, and a couple of them started swinging with each other, and this caused a huge rift in Mom Talk.
Interesting.
And some of them were like, well, we didn't do that much. It was just like some light kissing. Then other people are coming in and being like, girl, it was a lot more than light kissing, and all of this kind of stuff. So that was how this started.
But they have a whole like no sex before marriage thing. Like it's very strong.
Do you know about soaking?
I want to know what soaking is. What the fuck is soaking?
Soaking is this phenomena that is, I wouldn't say super common, but established to have happened, especially on Mormon college campuses where there's lots of young, horny Mormons. So it's like 3 people, a couple and a close friend, a trusted friend, an ally. So the 2 people basically put the penis right at the entryway of the vagina. And then another person jumps on the bed to get the motion going. And so because they are passively having sex through the motion of the bed, this is their like loophole for sex, because it's like, it's just happening. It's the motion of the ocean, baby. It's we're not doing it. It's just happening to us.
But there's been no priest that has said that this is alright.
No. This is like invented loophole. I don't think they're condoning it, but it's happening.
Yeah, okay.
And how you get to that length, and also how do you propose that to a friend?
Yeah, do you mind just jumping on the bed
real quick
while my friend, like, is it 2 penises or 2 vaginas? Like, is it
No, I think it's straight.
So
Straight
what
sex.
what I mean by in the threesome is it, so there's the couple and then there's the friend.
Yeah.
And so I suppose, the friend's like, who knows? It doesn't matter.
I would go for a friend with strong legs.
A friend with strong legs.
Because you need the most power to bounce the bed.
So the dude is standing up and the vagina is on the bed. Is that the idea? And the vagina's moving? Or is the...
I think that they're both laying on everyone's on the bed. They're both laying on the bed in missionary. This is how I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. Missionary.
Yeah, they probably aren't that
inventive.
inventive.
And then they're kind of like bouncing. But I think it might also be like a Ouija board situation where they're like, no, it's just moving. It's not my hands. I'm not thrusting at all, But we know there's a little thrusting.
Ouija board of sex.
There's some thrusting.
Oh, yeah. That's... Wow, the loopholes so that you can have sex while still in religion. It's like, guys, if you're I don't understand that. Like, if you're like leave the church or believe what you believe. I don't know. I feel like I can't say that actually, but it's like, why would you try and dance around it if you believe in all of this stuff?
Yeah, I grew up going to church though, and like I grew up in a pretty like American style cool church, evangelical, youth pastors with tattoos, guitars, exactly all this.
Sexy church, sexy.
And I remember in youth group one day, the pastor was like talking about whatever, and he brings out a chocolate bar, and he opens up the chocolate bar. And he's like, pass this chocolate bar around the room. So, all the kids pass it around.
They just
They're just passing it around. But it gets back to the front of the room and it's melted. It has hairs on it. It's kind of gross. It's, whatever. Mm-hmm. And he goes, who wants to eat this chocolate bar? No one wants to eat the chocolate bar. He goes, this chocolate bar represents your body and your virginity.
Dude.
If everyone passes you around, no one will want to eat you.
That's so fucked up. I knew it was coming, but that is so nasty.
And at the time, when you're a kid, you're like, sure, that makes sense. But then you're like, wait a minute, humans aren't chocolate bars. Yes. And I'm going to go suck dick.
We shower and we, what the fuck, dude? There's protection.
It's so gross. So.
Oh, that's so nasty. I went to a Catholic I went to a Catholic school by choice. And
like the skirts?
I did. I really did. I was an atheist and I was quite vocal about that, but I was always open to the conversations of, God and stuff. But there was never any shaming, which was really cool. And a lot of genuine scientific discussion of sexual health. And it was quite...
They're not well known for that, I would say.
Like Catholic.
Yeah.
No, not at all. It was a very progressive Catholic church school. And I don't know. I got lucky, but that's not to say that I feel like the judgiest person in my teenage years was a doctor when I I relayed this story to some friends on the weekend. Like, like your worst story of being fucked up as a teenager, like the biggest shameful moment. And mine was at this party where I was with this boyfriend at the time and was so drunk, and we were making out on like the side of the house in the garden and like, fooling around, and I lost my skirt, and my stepdad was picking me up, and so he gave me my boyfriend gave me his shorts, and then I was so drunk because I was trying to get out of like the garden. My stepdad found me and had to carry me out, and then like I'm vomiting out the car window on the way home, and then and then like my mom worries that I'm like drowning in the shower, and then she finds me in bed and she's like, "What's on your head?" And I'm like, "Oh, I was drying my hair with a towel," and it's my jacket. I use my jacket as a towel because I'm still so fucking wasted. And then,
what's on your head? Like, it's a towel. Mom, it's just a towel.
It had like a zip.
No.
And then the fucking next day, my mom was like, "So did you have sex with your boyfriend?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I don't know."
My eyes were closed.
My eyes were closed. Exactly. They were so close. And but like we were fooling around in the dirt and stuff, and so my mum took me to the doctor and had me examined, and I had like a bit of an infection because I'd been like, I don't know, in the bushes and shit. And then my mum's like, and she also doesn't know if she had sex, to the doctor, and this doctor was so fucking judgy. It was such a terrible experience. It was the first time. It was like one of the, aside from like, and I've recently started saying like, boys who call you a slut are just annoyed that you won't fuck them, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So aside from like boys calling me slut, or girls, mainly, boys and girls calling me a slut. That was probably the most shameful thing I ever experienced with this doctor, just like looking at me with so much judgment.
Yeah. As
he prescribed me my very first Plan B.
Oh, baby's first Plan B.
Yes. It's a special moment. But hold on, fuck, what were we talking about? Mormon porn. Oh, that's so interesting. I love that so much.
But I think this actually, the whole like the best businesses are like when there's a problem and you're like, wait, that's so the best businesses are when there's a problem and you come up with a solution. But take business advice from me, folks.
Yes.
No, but your problem, there's not enough hijab porn. Your other problem, you want to make more money. Be the change you want to see in the world, Anna.
Dude, it's crazy because like, no, I'm not. I can't say this on. I can't put it out there. But I did do a video where I was wearing
really
a burqa, and and thankfully I have no idea where it is, and I think I'm protected. But I'm like, I was terrified afterwards. I was like, someone, and it's more like what I was playing in the video, but I'm not gonna say it. But it was very sacrilegious.
Yeah.
So I feel like me doing burqa porn would also be like extremely dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm not Muslim, and that's not okay. Right?
Also, you want the authentic stuff,
But I feel like Muslims would be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Besmirching our beautiful garb and like what we represent, and you're putting that like a non-Muslim can't do it.
True. This is true.
Although that's said, with the Mormon porn, I'm like, I would expect them to not be...
That's cultural appropriation, too.
Exactly, but no one gives a fuck because they're white. And it's like no one, like I don't think anyone cares that it'll be fake Mormons.
No.
But when it comes to other religions, it's like,
yeah.
It feels wrong.
It does.
It does. In not the sexy way.
No. I take it back. Although,
but that's a very interesting. I should get more. I should do some more searches into like religious porn.
Yeah.
Anti-religious, because like demonic stuff is super interesting. Like some of my favorite porn was like the old Catholic, like nuns and priests, like Italian stuff from the 70s and 80s. That
Fleabag.
Stuff's great. Oh yeah, Fleabag. Yeah. She knows it.
She knows.
And Irish. Is that the Irish? I've never been into the Irish. They've never been into me, I should say. I haven't let them.
You're like, I'm drawing the line here. I'm drawing the line of the Irish.
Like, they're my heritage, but I've just never, no, I don't know.
You haven't found your pot of gold yet.
I haven't found my little leprechaun.
Keep following that rainbow girl.
Yeah, maybe it's because they're so nuts. Like, they're so, like, not queer. I don't know. No, I don't know.
The Irish not queer.
The Irish not queer. I don't know. Because of the...
queers of the UK, though?
They are though, aren't they? I don't know. Like I've got gay Irish friends, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to think why like the straight boys have never been interesting for me from Ireland. I'm like, are they too straight? Is it the Catholic thing? So many questions. I don't know. I'm surprised the camera's still going. So let's keep recording. Yeah. Although I'm like, should we stop? Maybe let's stop now and let it cool. Yeah, let's do that. And we are back. We're back.
We're hydrated. We're snacked. Bladders are empty.
What could be better? Botox. Okay,
Botox could be. Things always could be better, and that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. I went through my big how do I feel about plastic surgery? I think I went through that last year.
Yeah.
And because all of these people around me more and more were getting it done. And before I say like where I got to on it, what are you thinking? Because you're fucking young, right? How old are you?
I'm 27, almost 20. I'm almost 28.
You're almost 28. Oh.
Which makes you sound younger always when you say I'm almost whatever age.
Oh yeah.
27 and 3/4.
Because I want to feel like a child.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe I am where you were last year, where I'm like, I think a couple years ago I was processing my feelings on plastic surgery for other people. You know, we go through the feminist cycle of like, no, it's always bad. You're beautiful exactly how you this.
But then it becomes feminist to be like, you do whatever makes you feel good.
Exactly. But then I'm like, why does that make us feel, all the classic talking points. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to let everyone decide what they want to do for themselves, which is exactly what was going to happen regardless of whether or not I came to that conclusion.
Indeed.
The world kept spinning and people kept getting injections.
Yes.
But now I'm like, it's just, so I feel, okay. The area I'm concerned about, I'll tell you. I do this all day. I squint all day. I'm sitting at a computer. I'm like 24/7 screen time, except for the hours when I'm sleeping. It's like I'm staring at a screen. Yeah. Multiple screens even.
Yeah.
I have 3 phones. Why the fuck do I have 3 cell phones?
Why do you have 3 phones?
3 personal phone, porn phone, work phone.
You've got a porn phone.
I do have a porn phone. Wouldn't you like to see?
Why would I have ever questioned that?
Yeah.
Of course you have a porn phone. Is this for filming porn or just for consuming porn?
Just for filming. I use it kind of like storage device / but also because, though this ties into body image and stuff, I see myself naked so much. And I try to really that is one measure I've taken to protect my sanity when it comes to appearance is I really try to limit the amount of time I'm staring at myself. In mirrors, in photos, whatever. Of course, I'm guilty of it. I love a selfie. It's impossible to avoid. And I'm not like hiding from my reflection. No. But even at night now, I've realized like I do my night routine almost with no lights on, just because I'm like, do I need to see every detail of my face every night? Or do I just need to wash my face and put lotion on? Like, that's all I need. And I noticed when I had the lights on, that's when you start picking.
Oh,
that's when you start prodding and touching.
The picking, I do like to clean my pores. And I feel like if I do have like something that looks like a developing, whitehead, I'll get it. But yeah, I need to be really like, Anna, self-love, don't attack your face.
I think for me, it's actually a pimple pop in the morning has been better because I see something at night and instead of like poking at it, I'm like, let's give her a couple hours. Let's see how she develops, how she's feeling in the morning. In the morning, if it's like a whitehead that obviously needs to be taken care of for me to feel comfortable going through the day, I lightly prod, but I know it's the beginning of the day, so I don't want to go to ham on my face.
Yeah.
I think at night you can go too hard because you're going to go to bed.
You're gonna
no one's going to see you.
Exactly. I think that's wise. That's wise. Although I'm also like, if I do need to, because there's certain pimples. This is why I had to stop smoking as well, because I've got to mentally link like tobacco to some evil. And aside from the obvious things like your teeth and your fucking skin or your lungs or whatever, I did notice that I started to break out more regularly. Yeah. And I had these horror pimples recently, like just the fucking worst. Yeah. Where I would pop and stuff would come out, but then it would be like, it would just become bigger almost.
No.
And underneath, like it was just a mound. And the amount of drainage that was required. And
that's like a medical procedure.
Yes.
There's drainage. It's below the subdermal skin.
Exactly. It should have been a medical procedure, but it was so bad. And I've had like 3 pimples in the last, let's say 3 months that have just been so horrific that I've needed to like develop new makeup approaches, or usually when I've got a nasty pimple, I just like let it dry and not cover it, but these were so bad that I had to kind of cover them, and my skin's now healing, whatever. But where I'm going to is there are some pimples where you have to attack them, otherwise they're not going to go anywhere. Like they are these brutal monsters that you can't ignore. I
agree, but I kind of don't.
Okay.
Because I kind of think most people just say that because they never really let the pimples develop on their own. And they do go away if you don't do anything about them. And sometimes they go away better than if you pop them. I'm really trying to like not pick my face, but everyone has their own bottles. So I'm like, I don't look in the mirror. I don't pick my face. However,
no, I think this is good to
hear. Would you inject a paralyzing botulinum toxin into your face? I would.
You would, yeah.
I have not I have not done that yet, though.
You're planning to?
I have the names of some doctors recommended by some friends.
Okay.
I think I want to try it to see. I like that it's not permanent. It only lasts a couple months, but then I'm like, what's better? If I'm like, I tried it, I don't like it, I don't want it anymore, or what if I try it and I love it? And then all of a sudden it becomes nails, hair, self-tanner, makeup, and Botox. Like, it just keeps bundling.
Yes, then but the avalanching of the regimes to stay feeling like you're doing everything you can to look your best.
And this idea of preventative Botox.
Oh, okay. So firstly, the first point I want to ask is, like, I've looked into it, and every time, like, I recently just looked into it because I was roasting someone who has said I didn't know that she gets Botox. It doesn't fucking matter, but she said it in a clip, and so I researched Botox a little bit just to get some of the wording around it, and and it can, like, the side effect can be that it, like, your face can react differently, and it can, like, certain muscles, certain nerves can react differently. And so that's how you can sometimes have people with like the droopy eyelids and stuff like this. And to me, like, that's enough of a reason that it can go wrong like that.
Yeah.
That's enough of a reason for me to go, nope. Also, there's obviously the fact that it can go wrong. No fucking way do I want my face to look not great because I did something to make it look good.
Well, this is the thing then that one of my friends who got Botox recently, she was like, she got it, nothing bad happened to her, but she didn't like how it felt. And she said then it was an even worse feeling. And before it's like, oh, you feel bad because you're insecure. But then she felt bad because she's like, I did this to myself. I paid money to do this to myself, to wake up and feel weird every morning, to have like a weird headache kind of feeling of like tension. And that also, I'm like, oh, I don't want to live with that, like 3-4 months, whatever, plus of.
And I don't want to demonize anyone, like the process or anything. And if it makes people feel good, that's wonderful. But just having something synthetic injected into my face, that in itself as well, I'm just like, why would I put a foreign body in here? Like, the only things I want to put in my body are things that get processed and leave, and I don't want to put anything in my body that has a lasting impact.
I don't know. I put a lot of things in my body every day. I'm like, I'm American. I love pharmaceutical drugs. I love my antidepressants. I love nicotine. I love weed.
But these are all things that pass through your body and exit when you're putting a chemical that stays in your face, and the idea is that you want it to stay in there. It's not something that you take and you get an effect and then it leaves, and it's this like within a bit of time, you're going to have no trace of it in your body. Yeah. It's not. It's something that you're putting in that's a foreign body that you want to stay as a foreign body in your body.
Yeah. Well, I've already gotten Botox before, actually. I just remembered I got Botox, but not in my face, in my armpits.
Interesting.
Yes, for sweating. So when I was younger, I was like a clinically sweaty person, like on medication for the amount of sweating. I used to have to, it's so embarrassing.
Was this because of hydration issues? Like, would it dehydrate you? Or?
No, it was just a really the pills tried to dehydrate me, but then it obviously dehydrates like your whole body, like your eyes, your pussy, you're like everything feels tight.
Yeah.
And not in a good way. My pussy's so tight, but in an ouchy way. But No, I actually did it mostly because it was a research study, and that was when I was in my aggressive phase of saving to move to Europe.
Yeah.
So I was like, I will do anything for money.
I am currently looking at clinical trials right now. I'm currently being vetted for one. I gave them way too much information about my drug habits when they asked, and but like I prefer to be honest. I'm like, look, have been smoking weed, but I've just stopped. Yes, it was yesterday, but I have just stopped.
I just stopped.
There was no, but like, and I'm not. And it towards the end of the interview phone call, she's like, you realize that during the trial you cannot take drugs. I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I was very. Yeah.
If money's on the line, then I'll stop. You know, like
absolutely. But also, I have stopped smoking weed and cigarettes.
Yeah,
I have. It's just like,
Doc, listen. I can do it if I really have to.
I've got this. But so you did this clinical trial for Botox.
So they like measured my sweat, see how much I was sweating, then they Botoxed me up and checked afterwards, and it really helped actually for like
interesting
6 months to a year.
Okay,
I would say.
So about,
but it was a hella injections. It was like probably 20 injection points across like my armpits.
Wowzers. That's a hardcore
and
like,
I had to
clinical
shave
trial,
my
dude.
armpits for it, which I hate. So I've gotten it before, but not in the face. And the face does feel more high stakes, especially for
it's your fucking face.
Yeah,
man. And it's like it's for so much like. For everyone, really, your face is also still kind of your moneymaker. Like it's the way you give it an impression. It's the way
This is not
people recognize
the answer
you.
I wanted from you.
I know. I'm sorry. However, I'll say a few more. I just also think there's a very strong argument for embracing aging.
Boo.
I know. But when
No,
when I look at like, so I've got my dad's wife, and then I haven't seen her face for a while. But the last time, like
Where is that lady? I haven't seen her in a while.
They don't want to see me. But they somehow knew some kind of doctor, and they were getting quite reasonably priced, like trials of cosmetic surgery, and my mum hasn't had any, and she's not judgy at all. She's just like no, and she's older than my dad's wife, and I think like, mum's got aged, she's in her 60s, right?
Yeah.
She's got all of the classic places of aging on her face, and she still looks great. And I did recently go through like the list, which I'm sure so many of us women have, of like celebrities who haven't gotten plastic surgery. And looking at them, that's a good list.
Are there any
There's
more?
There's heaps.
Okay.
Meryl Streep. There's a bunch of other ones as well. Jodie Foster. There's like other ones that are not just lesbians, but or like became old before plastic surgery really became a thing.
Sure.
Fucking Pamela Anderson. She's doing great things with, like, of course she had her tits and everything else, but like how she is embracing sort of her aging is, I think, really beautiful. And I think there is just on a deep psychological level, I will do all the things of like buying anti-wrinkle cream and keeping my face hydrated and staying fit and trying to do all the and like sun protected. But I don't want to, and also all my gray hairs. It's more of like this holistic thing of, I am older than a lot of people now, and I'm going to keep getting older. And I like also, as someone who performs, like the more actors you see who have got surgery and the way their faces move, or not just surgery, just Botox.
Yeah.
And it's like there's something very strange and not. And it is clinical. It's medically unnatural, right?
Yeah,
like it is unnatural. And I just much would prefer to be represent, a woman my age, and also to be natural in my face.
No, I think, I do worry about that actually with like porn performing, of like, so much of it is not just the body, but facial expressions. And I think I'm a face scruncher when I orgasm. So I'm like, what if I can't scrunch my face? And then that like triggers me into a spiral every time I want to come, because I'm like, I can't come because I can't scrunch my, like I'm going worst case scenario.
Okay. Yeah. That could be a problem.
Right. But I'm like, I don't want to be like, hello, it's me,
Yeah, like, oh my God, I'm coming.
Yeah. You can tell, but I'm really coming. Yeah, so hard.
Yeah, and I like, I don't want to, I like, if you decide to go ahead with it, full power to
Yeah.
you. I have.
I'm just gonna judge you for the rest of my life. No, I'm kidding.
No, not at all. But I do have, like, I know quite a few people who have got it done, and if it makes you feel better, that's great. But there's also, it's that whole thing of taking, and it's an extremely political argument too when you look at like other sorts of surgeries. It's like, if you need to change your body to feel good in yourself, that's what you're doing. And so I think before doing it, it's just what does this mean to you? Is there something that you could do for your emotional, for your inner self before you irreparably change your outer self? Because your inner self is still going to be insecure. It's still going to be, hating your age. It's still going to be like whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
It's still going to be there.
Treat it from the inside.
I'm sorry.
Boo, once again.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's, it's also a big, like, me, like, I was smoking cigarettes this year, and weed is fine, but the problem for me with weed is that I always end up smoking tobacco. And I just love smoking things, and it's like, and so also me stopping that is a voting for my health, and voting for, like, no, I love and care about this thing, and I want to look after it in a way that, is nurturing, and I don't know.
I'm really trying to, the smoking is really, it's getting me. Cause same, love weed, but it always comes with tobacco, and I've been getting into edibles, which is nice, but I had some from California, and now I have to like make my own, which is always like.
I will send you, my last guest on this pod has needed to move to edibles, cause he got pneumonia, and like, it's just, smoking's just so bad for you, right? Yeah. But he's got a very easy edible.
Okay.
Like, super easy. Like, you don't have to do fucking... Like, you will have an edible ready within half an hour.
Whoa.
And, like, no complicated anything. Like,
no, because everything I'm looking at right now, it's like 7 hours later, you put it in the fridge and let it sit overnight. And I'm like...
No. This is like grind the weed, pre-bake.
Yeah.
Get
and
some
then
cookies.
Eat the weed.
Get some cookies, these chocolate-covered cookies, make a sandwich, bake, and then it's done.
Oh.
And it's literally half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, and like not difficult. It's like you got biscuits, you got ground wheat. That's all you need to do. There's no like science or like making the butter or anything. No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll forward that.
Deal.
Yeah, better to not be smoking. It just makes you feel like shit. Loses your energy.
So then all the things I have to do after smoking to try to counteract so I'm like, smoke, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, rinse my mouth, wash around my face so I don't get like psoriasis around my face, like all this stuff, scrubbing my nostrils. I'm like, this is taking out the fun of like smoking. It's not cool anymore. It's not like effortless, now back to work. It's like scrubs go.
This is exactly my experience, dude. Like the last 6 months. So I basically started smoking cigarettes. The first time I smoked a cigarette was after the porn shoot that I did, where I was just hosting. But it's like that. It was such a strangely stressful day, but enjoyable. But yeah, I had a fucking cigarette because everyone else was smoking and there was weed going around. It's like, I can't smoke weed right now, so fuck it, I'm gonna have a cigarette. And I've been doing like I hadn't smoked an actual cigarette until then, and then since that February date till like Sunday was the last time I smoked, and I've had like patches where I haven't smoked cigarettes for like 3 weeks or whatever, twice. But it's like, through that period, every time I would smoke, I'd come home and it would be like cleaning my teeth, mouth washing, flossing my teeth, and then absolutely like washing all around, the scrubbing. Like, I hate the smell of tobacco on my hands. And then having it's like, this is not chill. This is not like, what am I doing?
No,
this is so dumb.
It's the moment of reflection when you like come up into the mirror and you're like, damn it, why am I doing this?
Yeah, and inspecting your teeth, like, are they more yellow now? Fuck. Although, have you seen those fucking whitening strips on everywhere on Instagram? They're these purple strips that you put on your teeth, and your fucking teeth are so white afterwards. Have you seen these things?
I think I've seen like the purple toothpaste, because it's just like the purple dye. It's like purple shampoo for your hair, basically. It's the same thing. Like, it just counteracts the yellow. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm
like, if you can get your teeth whitened like that, I'm like, maybe cigarettes aren't so bad.
What we need just like a retainer you wear while you're smoking to protect your teeth.
Oh yeah, that's hot. That's excuse me, that's just from
let's light up. Hold on. Yeah, ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Smoking dentures.
Smoking dentures. Why not? They should make those. That's what they should make.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is, when I got my teeth whitened, that was something I promised myself when I stopped smoking. It was like, okay, once I've stopped smoking for 6 months, and like I can't be smoking into my late 30s. I was like, I get my teeth professionally cleaned, like whitened, and dude, the process was so painful. I was
Really?
like, yeah, like as in, I'm a pussy, obviously, but it's just like you have to have your mouth open like that for so long, for like an hour, and it fucking hurts, dude.
Is that the one with the lasers?
No, it's just with a gel.
Okay.
But it's just because you have to have your mouth stretched
Yeah.
open for that long. And I'm good at having
Yeah, I
my mouth
was gonna say,
stretched.
I was like, oh, is that hard for you, really? Is it?
But it was so uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
like, it can burn a little bit. They do like cover your gums and stuff, but it was still, it was so more, like I didn't expect it to hurt.
See, Botox is easier than that.
Yeah, but that's exactly. And so I was like, whitening my teeth is the closest I'll ever get to like any kind of like white. That's like dyeing your hair. It's not the same as filling something in, you know what I mean? Like it's not the same as stopping muscle, like nerve movement, muscle movement, like numbing your face. Like it's killing a part of your body. It's destable. It's it's paralyzing a part of your body, I should say. Not killing. That's too far. So but do it if it makes you feel good.
Okay.
It's just
speak to the manager inside.
Yeah, speak to the manager inside. I like just because I've decided that doesn't mean anything. It's just it's nice for me to come to that point because I'm so much older than you, dude, and so I've had to really think about it. And I'm constantly I don't see myself naked all the time, but I'm seeing myself on stage all the time in very unflattering lighting usually, and it's like my face is my voice, So yeah.
Precious cargo.
Precious cargo. Yes, and it is precious. So, I don't know. Getting all the fucking moisturizers and the anti-aging creams.
Yeah.
I think that stuff's all right, But the thing is, you're still going to age around the Botox.
Yeah, but I guess it's like I'm comfortable with aging in certain ways, right? Yeah. So I'm so like even like these kinds of lines, like horizontal forehead lines, great. Smile lines, perfect.
So it's just these
just this. Yeah. Because this I feel like
that
makes me angry, and I don't like that because I think of myself as a very happy person.
Oh, there's a German comedian, female, who's got a great bit about it, about getting those ones removed. She's like, because she's also got those, and I've got a natural, like my skull. I think I've got like a natural skull like line here,
cleft chin, but
like
cleft forehead.
Yeah, it's like I have a natural indentation in my skull there, and so I have a natural dent. And I've always had that. But that's also where my orgasm, line is, and like my focus line. And so it's like getting that, of course I'd love to get that removed and have that flattened. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I've always had this here. And also this great bit, her name's Christina Boganski. She's got this great bit about, like, women need to keep looking angry. Like if women stop looking angry, like we don't have equal pay yet. We don't have like we've still got a lot of fight to fight. So we shouldn't be removing our anger.
This is true.
But also it's like just because you're focused, it doesn't mean you look angry. Like it's a focus. It's a focus. It's a
eye
focus.
on the prize lines. Yeah. Maybe that's what I'll call it.
Yeah, and it's like you think. It's like they're thinking lines. Yeah.
No, I'm just like smooth everything out, smooth that brain. Let me just be smooth.
Let me just not think at all. I mean, I like to look like I don't have a single thought in my brain.
Sometimes that does feel nice.
Yeah, right. Oh fuck yeah! I take all the drugs to feel like that. All the time. Okay, let's do one more little thing.
Yeah.
How do I get my party mojo back?
This one's kind of lame. I've just been staying home a lot.
I think a lot of us have. I think it's like economy as well. Like staying at home. And also just, I don't know. I think that maybe it's also like a bit of a post-pandemic thing. It's like pandemic, we were all fucking shut in. Mental health issues. We get out. We're free. We're like over the top free, but now socially awkward. And now we've sort of rebalanced, and now we're like, oh, we don't have to go out.
Yeah. I feel like mine, I don't know. I spent the pandemic in Sweden where there was like pretty much no regulations.
Right? Yeah. Sweden was crazy chill.
But there's also nothing to do in Sweden.
Yeah.
So I was involuntarily put through social isolation in Sweden due to weather factors and boringness factors. I think
nothing too crazy. Like it probably didn't have that much of an effect on.
No, not from the pandemic as much. I think, especially when I moved to Berlin and I saw how Berliners were really like coming out of this I could see there was like.
There was
a collective trauma
Yeah.
that like specific to, I mean, everywhere, whatever, but like
Yeah.
German regulations and stuff really got people down.
Yeah.
And also saved lives, but yeah.
Yeah.
But obligatory disclaimer.
But there was like a global trauma that even if maybe you were in a place that
Yes.
didn't feel it, it still had like, there's ripple effects all over that you
100%.
end
Yeah.
up feeling. Yeah.
I think mine is more of like a calmness rebound from now that I've been in Berlin for like 3 years. I'm like year one. What year one? Who remembers year one?
Oh, dude, year one, what a fucking nightmare.
Year one in
like,
Berlin?
Fun, but Jesus.
No, best times of my lives, worst times. Best times, worst times. Like, it was really a roller coaster. And then I think I realized, oh, I can be stable and I can have an income and, like, not be sick every other week and take care of my body.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've really, like, I am very lucky to have, like, some good friend groups in Berlin. And maybe this sounds super jaded, but I feel like I'm almost at a point where I'm like, applications for new friends are temporarily closed. Like, of course, I'm always open to meeting new people, but I don't have time for new people.
Totally.
I have, like, 3 jobs and a pretty vivacious friend groups. So I'm like, if you're coming into my life, you got to bring something real good to the table. Like, that sounds really, like,
I'm
snobby,
with you.
but...
I'm totally with you. I have a very small, like, a very tight roster, like, very small selected group of friends. Like, what I do, I'm very, very fucking busy. When I was single, I think, going out and looking for lovers meant that I was maybe a bit more social with friends and peripheral friends. But when it comes down to it, when I've got my person who like so fulfills me, and then I've got my friends and I've got my fantastic colleagues as well. It's just like, yeah, totally. I don't really have capacity or interest, and I'm very unlikely that I'll prioritize time to spend with someone new. Like they have to, like they need to be around and sort of earn their, not earn, that sounds way too like, oh, it's for me, but like it needs to be a mutual, we're in each other's lives and we dedicate a bit of time to it and it builds. But it's like which is hard to like convey to you can't like, I'm open for friends, but only if you're really special and are willing to put in an exactly equal amount of effort as I am, which is to say, slow but building. Yeah, slow but building, little by little baby steps. Yeah. I don't know. Have you had? I don't know if I should talk about this. Have you had a thing where like you've had a friend and then you realize that you're actually not very comfortable? Like you're not a. This is not you, and it's not anyone else that you know. And
then you invite them to a podcast, and you're like, I'm going to break the news to them live. And
isn't it so funny that whenever anyone brings up something that's really uncomfortable, like a comedian recently brought up workshopping a joke, brought up how do you tell someone they have bad breath? And like, I feel like everyone around him was just like,
it's me.
And then I seriously was like feeling paranoid about it up until like when I got home, even like hanging out with them afterwards with other people. I felt like everyone was like keeping like really far away from me, and I'm like,
back to COVID distance.
What's going on? But have you had it in your adult life where you have a friend and you want to be friends with them and you put time into it, but then you kind of realize that you are not, like, you never feel really at ease and good with them? And then you're like, oh, why am I pushing this friendship when it's clearly not good for me? Like there's something deep in me that's like not like just a chemistry thing.
Yeah. I think I luckily have not had so many people where I would say I felt kind of like uncomfortable or uneasy around them, but I think like I've definitely had friends where I felt like I've outgrown this friendship, or we don't have so much in common anymore, and they don't feel the same way, maybe. Like when there's an unequal kind of like, and now it's like, I have like my friend groups like in the US and in Sweden and Berlin, and of course in some ways I'm prioritizing, well, not in some ways, in most ways I'm prioritizing my Berlin friends because these are people I get to see in person and bring fun and energy and whatever to my daily life. So I think right now I've been trying to figure out how to balance like what role do my childhood friends play? Even though we don't necessarily have so much in common anymore, we have different professions, we live in different places, we're not making so many new memories together is the other thing, because they live so far away. I'm only going back maximum once a year. Like, when does a friendship, like, where does it go?
Yeah, I like 9.5 years here, and Australia being so hard to get back to. I have really only a handful of friends that I catch up with when I go back to Melbourne now. The first few years, I waited 3 years before I went back the first time, and then I saw a bunch of them. And then sort of each year that I've returned, sort of new, like the behaviors that you saw the last time affect how you prioritize. You're like, oh, actually that person's a fucking liability, or that person was super disrespectful. Or when I catch up with them, it's like, I don't know, like and it's not always negative, but or it'll be like, oh, that person, like, well, people just move away, like, as in, people also just, the longer you're away, the more their lives become even further apart from themselves, like the group, people move away from the cities. So like, at the moment, I really feel like I have, like, I don't want to say a number because I don't want anyone to listen and be like, does that include me? And I don't think anyone would be thinking like that. I'm not, but it's like, I don't have anywhere near as many friends as the people that I would call friends and that I would like, that I will make time to see. But it is hard. Like, people need to be relevant in order to be a friend. But
then I'm like, then I start to question that, even because I do just, like, naturally, that is my instinct. I'm like, not like, okay, I'll just say it in like the blunt, what are you bringing to the table? Like, we're not making new memories. You have maybe a boring job that I don't really like, like, I mean, I have all these friends with crazy Berlin jobs, that fun stuff, blah, blah, blah. But then I meet them and I hang out with them, and it grounds me in a way of like, it kind of brings you back in a way that is both scary and comforting, of like, I've known you since we went to school together. Since we were in Girl Scouts together. Since like, we have so much history, and that is a part of me that maybe I don't always want to, like, I'm not always keen to bring up or show to the new people in my life, but as like an archive or memory holder.
I can't relate to having any friends from childhood. Okay. Like, I don't, and
they all have bad breath now.
They all have terrible breath. No, I just really, like, no friends from primary school, no, and so I think that's a very different thing. But most of my friends I got, like, most of my friends in Australia are people that I made, like, I worked with. Yeah, and they're it's great people. But like, it's from that. So you don't have quite the same history. Yeah, very different. Like, if someone knows you from your childhood, that's what my family is. Yeah. They're the ones that know me from my worst, like, tiniest little stupid self stuff.
It keeps me humble too, because I think also it reminds me of the person I see myself as deep down, because like at the risk of sounding like I have an overinflated ego, I think sometimes, online it's very easy to be like, I live this cool Berlin porn star life, and I'm traveling, and I'm doing all this, and blah blah blah, and like, like all this stuff. And that is, an image that is put out. But I'm like, no, I'm really like...
Yeah, and these are just activities. It doesn't mean that I can't connect to people.
It's not who I am, or like, you know my name, not my story.
Yeah, right. And most of them, like, a lot of my family and other friends, it's like, it's a lot more sort of stable, sort of one place. Yeah. Also, like, being in Europe versus being in the States or being in Australia, it's a very different lifestyle. Which we choose to have and we enjoy.
We choose to forego the Cheez-Its in order to smoke our cigarettes in public and
have excellent health care.
Excellent?
No, it's really average. But mandatory health care. Yeah. If shit's bad, we're all good. We never have to worry. But totally. We forego it for the. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like. No, it's the genuine freedoms here. Yeah. That's what it is.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah. And like, okay, the chemicals in our food aren't quite as tasty. For white immigrants. Yeah. Oh, there's other immigrants that are having a good time too, but.
Yeah, some of them.
Some of them, but white immigrants definitely. Yeah. We number one. Oh, Jesus. We have it the best. We're very grateful and we're very privileged. Yes. I'm just trying to see if there's any last things that you wanted to cover off. There was
what do we have?
ASMR. I'm not sure if we mentioned that on the pod, but I was thinking, so you listen to ASMR every night.
I do listen to ASMR almost every night, yes.
That helps you sleep?
I would say yes, but I am someone who can sleep no matter what. I am #blessed to have never struggled with sleep a day in my life.
Nice.
A bad night of sleep for me is like when it takes me more than 15 minutes to fall asleep, and then I really start to panic, and I'm like, is this hell? Is this going to be forever?
Thank God you're a good sleeper,
is
dude.
this, yeah, no. Like, I get really like, what's wrong with me? Something's happened. Like, I've lost my mojo. 15 minutes, yeah. So, no, I don't actually struggle to sleep. I do, but I do enjoy ASMR just to wind. As I mentioned, I'm a 24/7 screen time person. So, if you've been on screens all day, you need to eat. You can't just cut the screens cold turkey.
Oh, God, no.
You need to ease off the screens. So we go from work to leisure screens to light leisure screens, like mindless scrolling, and then to like true relaxation screens, which is like ASMR.
Which you're not looking at, you're just listening to.
No, I'm watching. I like any kind of, basically like someone touching someone in any capacity. So it's ASMR, then porn, then sleep is how it goes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite the
like,
menu.
I need like someone stroking someone's hair, massage.
And so there's sounds for the hair
the
stroking.
sounds, the visuals of it too. Like it just relaxes me. Or like there's this one great channel called Ecuador Live, which is just like, that sounds like a weird like snuff film channel. Like
It totally is.
Ecuador Live.
Yeah.
No, it's just these like old Ecuadorian women who are like people with the leaves, the branches, you know, and doing these like limpia, like spiritual cleansing like rituals. Love that shit. So they're like rubbing an egg all over them to absorb the bad energy, and then they crack the egg and they're like, see all this stuff in the egg? That's the bad energy that we just absorbed. And I eat it up. I love it.
Not the bad energy though. But
not the
yeah.
bad. No, I don't eat those eggs. Not the bad egg energy.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I love.
You do things very differently to me. That's fucking fascinating. So you wind down with watching things that are like sound focused, and then
yeah. Wind down.
That are kind of like therapeutic, like healing things, or as in like cuddling.
I like
hair
things like
stroking.
treatments, like cosmetic or like body treatments are my go-to, because I think that's because as a person, I am someone who needs to pay a stranger to touch me at least once a month, whether that is in the capacity of hairstyling, nail painting. I've never paid for a sex worker in person, so that could be an option in the future, but I don't think my bank account is
In person?
like a full service sex worker, because this could also like fuel the like someone's touching me. I just want a stranger to touch me.
Wow, that's so interesting.
That's why I love being patted down at airports. Not sometimes.
You're like their worst nightmare. They're like, do you reckon some people enjoy this? They're like, ugh.
Sometimes I leave one headphone in my pocket to set it off. Not two, because then it looks like I wasn't listening to them, because they're like, take everything out of your pockets. And I'm like, yeah. But who leaves just one headphone, you know? Like, then it's like, oh, it was really an accident, just so they pat me down. Because I love the methodical nature of the, like, pat, like, lift your leg up, spin around.
They never
like,
ask you to lift your leg up.
Yes, they do. They ask me to check the bottom of my shoe every time.
Really?
Yeah, I think because I wear boots when I travel.
Oh,
so they always want to make sure I haven't, like, cut them open and put something in them.
You wear the boots so that they have to ask you to lift up your leg, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my God, dude, that's so crazy. I hate getting patted down. I hate strangers touching me. Unless, and even like hairdressers, I enjoy the novelty of it. I'm like, ooh, I'm getting touched. Like I'll appreciate that, but I'm very aware of it being sort of this, yes, like I don't mind that, but the airport thing, because that's not me wanting it.
Yeah.
That's them wanting it.
No, I'm
so
like,
I fucking hate that.
Violate my personal liberties. Do it softer and harder and everything.
Wow. I do not relate, but I can understand. I'm going to think about this every time I go through an airport now.
I just realized the other day, actually, like you have a right to ask to not go through the body scanner, and you can just ask for a manual pat down.
So you're going to be going with that option now, huh?
I'm too scared to ask for it, but I think I'm just gonna like embody you in the sense of coming up with some kind of role, or like I can't go through this for a medical reason that I will not disclose, and you have to touch me.
And you have to pat me down instead.
Yes.
I wouldn't say you have to pat. I'd be like, you have to do the alternative, because you don't want that like sparkle of excitement to show in your eyes.
Like
you have to pat me down.
It's a give me your best rub.
Oh, wow. That's so interesting. Okay. Also, that's interesting with the ASMR stuff, because if I were to do OnlyFans, I was thinking ASMR, like just me with the mic, and really, but it'd be interesting to make it some kind of like healing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and make it something like I'm interested in doing, either it's like comedy writing, or it's something that is about, that's something that's like intended to make people feel good.
Yeah.
And not just like a coming way, and like a, and like a healing, therapeutic, love-based, you're enough stuff.
Oh, wow. Like jerk off instructions, but with like self-validation.
Exactly. Exactly. I was going to not do the jerk off. They can jerk off if they want to the voice, but like really what it is messaging to make people,
you don't need
good.
Botox. You don't. You're beautiful. Everyone ages gracefully just by aging.
Just by aging. Just by be you. Be you. You are enough. And then I could get some like noises of like skin rubbing, or I don't know.
There's a lot of fun like creativity to be had with like audio porn, because I've shot a couple for some platforms before, and there are a lot of things you don't even think about when you're with audio. I mean, like that's not my main thing. I'm like working primarily with like video and photo.
Yeah.
But like room tone, when you're walking into the scene, what shoes are you wearing? Does it make a nice sound? If the scene is supposed to be that you're at a club, you're probably wearing jewelry. So now you need some like jangly jewelry.
Unless you're a Berliner.
Like latex. Can you like make the snappy sound? Like all of this stuff, because at the end of the day, like sex noises are good and hot, but you do need also like
you need to set
some
the
other
scene.
stuff to get into it. And that was fun to like be like, okay, what can we pull from around the house to be like, da, 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 da,
That's very interesting. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up there.
Yes.
Plug yourself. Where can people find you?
My name is Annika. You can find me on Instagram at its.actually.annika, ANNIKA, and the same on OnlyFans.
Check Annika out on OnlyFans, people. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, do that. If you want to see me if you want to hear me do OnlyFans stuff, write me. And and
she's taking custom orders.
I'm like, if people actually show interest, then I'm like, okay, I could put a little bit of time into this and I could do it. In this economy. All right, guys, this has been Adults Only Comedy. Berlin, thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.